This just in, judgment is coming for us all. It's coming for them, it's coming for us, and there's no escape. Finally, we get into the first actual apocalyptic future prediction of the end of it all. This is episode 15, looking at the book of Revelation, but finally we've gotten here. So what is this end of days prediction? And what, if anything, does it have to do with you? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. But first, hi, my name's Corey, and I'm the pastor of RedeemerOnline.Church, and it's my mission to help you understand and practice the Christian faith, especially if you don't go to church right now. And if that's something you're interested in, I want to encourage you to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to dig a little bit deeper with us into the faith, then join the email list. There's the link in the description right below. And if you want personalized help, customized for your life, then let's get together. I'll meet with you one-on-one on video to help you gain clarity and growth in your spiritual life. Just throw a wave emoji in the comments if you want to talk. So, the end of days apocalyptic judgment prediction in Revelation. Let's talk about it. In Revelation 6, the author, John, has this vision of God in the heavenly throne room handing a scroll to a lamb that looks like it's been killed already. And that lamb is a representation of Jesus. And that scroll contains God's plan from the beginning of time through the present and into the future. Everything that's happened and is happening and will happen. But it was sealed with 7 seals. And each time the lamb opened a seal, more of the story was revealed in symbolic detail. The first 4 seals represent 4 forms of evil that have plagued humanity since the beginning of time. Popularly, they've been known as the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, but we already did a video on them. Check the link in the description for that. When he opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of those who had been slain because of the word of God and the testimony they had maintained. They called out in a loud voice, "How long, sovereign Lord, holy and true, until you judge the inhabitants of the earth and avenge our blood?" Now, remember, the entire book of Revelation was written to reveal something from the divine to John's readers. And whatever that something was, it was supposed to strengthen them and bolster their faith and give them some semblance of hope and peace amidst the chaos that they were presently experiencing. So this portion of the vision was communicating the voices of those whom you lost, the voices of those from your community who have suffered and died, those who were murdered for their faith. Those voices are present in God's heavenly throne room. They are with God. And what are those souls doing in this vision? They're asking the same question that the first readers of Revelation would have been asking. They're asking the same questions that suffering Jewish psalmists were asking. They're asking the same questions that mentally and emotionally tormented King David was asking. They're asking the same question that maybe you're asking. How much longer, God? I mean, isn't this enough already? All the pain and the suffering and the destruction that's going on. How much longer are you going to let this carry on for? Haven't things gotten wildly out of hand yet? When are you going to make your move, God? When are you going to fix it? How long? Then each of them was given a white robe, and they were told to wait a little longer until the full number of their fellow servants, their brothers and sisters, were killed, just as they had been. How long? Not yet. And then white clothes get handed out to the souls. I'm not really sure how a soul puts on clothes, but white clothes are for good times. They're for weddings. They're for victories. They're for special occasions of celebration, which means the white clothes are a foreshadowing. They're a promise. They're like God saying, hey, that day is coming. It's awful for now, but this isn't forever. Judgment Day is coming. I watched as he opened the 6th seal. There was a great earthquake. The sun turned black like sackcloth made of goat hair. The whole moon turned blood red, and the stars in the sky fell to the earth as figs drop from a fig tree when shaken by a strong wind. The heavens receded like a scroll being rolled up, and every mountain and island was removed from its place. I think it's worth pointing out, as I have in other videos on Revelation, that there really isn't anything new in this book. Everything is reused or repurposed from somewhere somewhere else in the scriptures. Each of these details were popular apocalyptic images used to talk about the end of days. The Old Testament prophet Isaiah used them when he said, "All the stars in the sky will be dissolved and the heavens rolled up like a scroll. All the starry hosts will fall like withered leaves from the vine, like shriveled figs from the fig tree." The prophet Joel used them to talk about the day of judgment, the end of days. The sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. Even Jesus used this imagery when he was talking about the end. Immediately after the distress of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. The idea here is likely not to think of these as actual events that will precipitate the end of the world, but these are provocative apocalyptic images designed to evoke a sense of foreboding and dread. Then the kings of the earth, the princes, the generals, the rich, the mighty, and everyone else, both slave and free, hid in caves and among the rocks of the mountain. They called to the mountains and the rocks, "Fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of their wrath has come, and who can withstand it?" Everyone at that point will want to escape judgment. Everyone will want to hide from the face of the one who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. But don't misunderstand this. John's not warning those who oppose the Lamb. Those people aren't reading this document. This was written to Jesus followers in little churches all over the Mediterranean world, and particularly in southwestern Turkey in the first century. Christians who were suffering, Christians who were wondering if God was ever going to do something about all the evil and chaos in their world. And this vision says, hey, the day of celebration, the day of victory, the wedding feast will come. But first the old will be dealt with before the new can be birthed. And when that time comes, for those who stand in opposition to the Lamb, it's Judgment Day. Calamity will come for all, regardless of their station in life, rich or poor, slave or free, royalty or commoner. God will finally wipe away evil in all its forms. And those who reject the Lamb and his self-sacrificial love will experience his wrath against their evil. Which is to say to the reader, your suffering won't be forever. The Lamb will do something about all the hell in this world. And those who spent their lives living against him, they won't be able to stand before him. This would have been a message of encouragement for those first readers. Hold on a little longer. God is going to do something about all the evil. Now, what does any of this mean for you and for me? Well, I think it can still serve as a message of encouragement and hope to know that your voice, your cry is heard in heaven. I think if John was writing Revelation to us today, he'd say, listen, those perpetrators of evil that you see, they're going to face judgment. Regardless of their station or level or power and wealth, they aren't going to be able to stand before the wrath of the Lamb. I think John would impress upon us the hope that there is a good end coming to the story. There is going to be justice. God will move. But for now, we got to hold on just a little longer.